about you all the time, and I just can't wait.
Hello and welcome to Mercy's Path with me, Amanda Koopa. Yes, it has been a couple weeks. I took a little break, not on purpose at first, but then on purpose. It's like you don't have to do, it you do have to do it consistently. You do have to do it every week. And I should have maybe banked some episodes, but, just stuff was going on in life and, I just took the time to live, I guess. Went to the lake, enjoyed the sun. I think I got a little bit of a tan, but I'm pretty pasty still, so that's cool. So I hope everything has been good with you. I hope that you're seeking God and God is working in your life, pouring his favor out onto you or teaching you the lessons that you need to learn, hopefully. I got a lot I want to talk about. We'll see what we get to. I finished school, so that's cool. Like, I'm done. I handed in all my assignments. I'm completely done school. So that is awesome. I look forward to whatever is next because, it kind of kept me really heavy in the word, which is always good. I guess I'm just waiting to see my final things that are handed in. I'm waiting to see how I did on them. Oh, so far I've gotten 100% and 1000%. I literally got 100 out of 10 on the one. I don't know. It was pretty in-depth, but so I guess I wanted to, just a lot has been going on in life. I'm not going to get into details about certain things because, I don't know. But I came across someone recently who kind of got, I wouldn't say caught, but got exposed for, being kind of bad in a certain way. And then that person proceeded to say, well, there's my church life and then there's this other stuff. And immediately I was just like, no. That is not, like, no. I don't, sorry, I'm just going to move over. I do not accept that. That should not, and it makes me upset because there are a lot of people in the world who are like, Christianity is stupid, God isn't real, blah, blah, blah. You've heard that. And I believe that a big reason people think that is because there are these Sunday Christians who go to church, maybe even volunteer a little, but then in their actual life, they're not living out what Christ wants them to live out. They're living out their own desires. They're chasing their flesh, the desires of their flesh, and they're just, and it's hard because, I know a lot of single Christian women who, they meet a guy at church and they're like, oh, this is cool. But then you find out that guy is a Sunday Christian and he's not a man of God, and I don't expect everyone to be perfect, but I do expect a certain level of Christian behavior. I mean, because again, you're just like making Christians, you are a representative of Christ 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you say that that's who you are. And if you're not, at least trying to live a good, clean Christian life, you are disrespecting, like, you're just like, Jesus, I don't love you, and that seems, a little intense, I'm sure. And we all fall short. We all make mistakes, but it seems to be that people just straight up are like, no, like, I'll do this at church and do this at home. Like, no, like being a Christian is again, 24-hour a day thing. I'm constantly battling, things. And, I've really come out of so much that I know that it's possible. So I guess it bugs me when there's people who are just like, no, I'm going to do this over here and do that over there and whatever. And it's also, it's more important to me because I have a daughter who I want her to see, because like my daughter has become really in love with God and that's so beautiful. And I love that. But I don't think it would have happened if I was being a Christian at church and different at home. And now, of course, at home, I get mad a little bit sometimes. And I say things that I shouldn't say and all that kind of stuff. But, I quit doing drugs. I quit drinking. I quit wearing promiscuous clothes. I quit being a stumbling block for my brothers. I absolutely gave my life to Christ, and I tried to be like him. And I'll never be exactly like him, but I tried to do, I have this mentality that God's always with me, God's always watching me, and that's true for everyone. And I just wish people would act like that. Act like it. Act like Jesus is in the room. And actually, the kids did a really cool skit at missions training last night about that. Like, if Jesus walked in the room right now, would he be happy with what you're doing? Would he be happy with the way you're treating people? Would he be happy with the way you deal with people on a day-to-day basis? If not, if you think, Jesus would kind of be shaking his head, then you need to do something about that. Like, you can't just skate through, because that's the definition of, it's like, do you even care? Like, and I just feel that way sometimes. Like, why are you even here if you don't care? And I get it. It's hard. I think it's just because, I want the best for people. And when they seem like they don't even want the best for themselves, and they try to make that church life separation, it's like, no, like, you are a representative, and the people around you look to you, if you're going to validate awful behavior, that's a problem. Like, you can't, we can't all, we're supposed to be transformed by Christ and have our minds renewed, not just, sing a little at church and then go and be a bad person. That's not, I guess it just upsets me, because, like, we are the representation of God. People, when we say I'm a Christian, people look to us and say, oh, well, if that person's doing that, or when people come to us with their life problems, say, oh man, like, I hate this person, I want to get revenge on them, like, help me, like, destroy their life. Like, we should be saying no. And if we're saying yes, then we're not being a Christian in that person's life. We're just being a worldly, vengeance-fueled person. Like, there's so many things that, people come to me about now, where my old, response would have been, well, screw that person. Like, they're, but now it's very much like, well, think about it from their perspective. Like, what can you do? How can you, even to non-Christians, I'm like, well, how can you escalate this? How can you be the better person? And, but with a Christian person, I would say, well, how can you reflect God in this situation? What would God do? What would Jesus do? Like, that's so, like, hello, it's on my wrist. I mean, my wrist doesn't say what would Jesus do. My wrist said, what did Jesus do? Because Jesus did things, and I want to do the things that Jesus would have done. And, I try to correct people, but when they just laugh in your face and, almost treat you like you're crazy, it's like, why are we all here if we're not here to reflect Jesus? And that's how I feel. And so, and also, I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of related to this, but there's a Mike Winger clip that I shared. I clipped it from his YouTube video and I shared it about how, like, so there's always been this debate, like, will you just get into heaven if you believe in Jesus, or do you have to do good works to be saved? Now, it's kind of a complicated trick question, because yes, you are saved by faith. Believing in Jesus Christ, you are saved by faith. But being saved means transforming, means being renewed in Christ, means being born again. And so if you become saved, say, But then you're still doing all these really terrible, terrible things and sinning constantly on purpose and thinking, oh, I'm saved by faith. I'm saved by faith. Like, I don't have to help anyone. I don't have to do anything. Then, because here's the thing, you will know people by their fruits, right? And this is how he put it, is like, if you plant an orange tree and it doesn't grow an orange for 10 years, was it ever really an orange tree? In comparison to being saved, like, if you are really saved, but you never ever transform your life and you continue to live by the desires of your flesh, were you ever really saved? Were you ever really an orange tree? And that's a hard question, you know? It makes me sad to think about. But, you know, we can't just say something. We have to do it by our actions. That's why you have to know by their fruits, you know? And so, you know, and I know what the flesh is trying to do all the time. Like, there are times where I feel tempted, you know. Ovulation for a Christian celibate woman is a really hard time, you know, because you just have this desire. Your body's like, let's make a baby, you know, and there's all these things that you have to fight. And it seems like the devil sends things to you. And, you know, over the years, it's gotten really easy to be like, absolutely, my relationship with God is not worth, because I've made mistakes in the past, like a year ago, 2 years ago. You know, things would happen, and, you know, I would be on my knees in front of God every night after something would happen, just trying to be like, I'm so sorry, God. Like, I know I gave my life to you and I can't believe I just did that. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? And yet other people can just be like, I can just sin and it's fine and I don't care. Like, come on, man. It's hard. I know it's hard. Life circumstances are difficult and complicated, and there's all kinds of reasons why people make mistakes. Like, I'm not judging. I'm just like, and I wouldn't say this to someone who's not a Christian. For people who aren't Christians, if they have not given their life to God, if they're not professing to be saved by Jesus, then, you know, Lord, do not judge them, for they do not know, right? But as Christians who profess to be Christians, we're supposed to submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. But again, submit to God. You can't just run away from the devil without submitting to God, because you cannot escape the temptations that come day in and day out. God will give you a way out of your temptation. God will deliver you from the things that you know you shouldn't do. But if you're not in full submission to God, you know, how can you? You're not strong enough. You're weak. Like, we are weak people. Our spirits might be strong, but our flesh is weak. And as soon as we give the devil a foothold, you know, he will come in and he'll steal and kill and destroy. And it just seems like a lot of people in the world are giving the devil a foothold. And so that's so that's just something to think about, I guess. Again, I just feel, I don't know. And I know that you're not supposed to judge your brothers, but you are supposed to rebuke the people, you know, that are of the faith. You know, you're supposed to, what does it say? I want to find it. I'm gonna put my phone on airplane mode because I forgot again. Airplane mode, there we go. But there's a verse about, like, yeah, you're not supposed to judge people, okay? Because why try to get the speck out of your brother's eye when there's a plank in your own? But I feel like there's a lot of planks that I've removed that I'm like, listen, you can get rid of this too. You can do it. It's easy if you submit to God. If you just let your flesh lead your life, it's not gonna go well for you. And I see it in these people. I see people who are just like sad and mad and angry and afraid, like fear way under the anger. It's absolutely devastating to see Christians, you know, be angry and sad. Okay, sorry, I gotta find this verse. Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand, with everything around me is shaken. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. Okay, Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 to 17. If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not listen, take 1 or 2 others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen even to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. So basically, if someone wrongs you, talk to them privately first. But if they don't listen, bring 1 or 2 others with you. If they still won't listen, tell the whole church. And then if they ignore even that, treat them as an outsider. Now, nobody's sinned directly against me. Maybe they have. But, yeah. I'm pretty open with people about, like, what the heck did you do that for? Yeah. And, yeah, we're supposed to help other Christians become stronger. I'm sorry to, like, people who are not, of the faith for this part of this podcast, but like, it's just important for me to talk about. And because I want the general public to know that there needs to be, I understand and recognize that there should be accountability within the church. And I just think that people shouldn't like be bad, obviously, or like just think they can, I don't know. And I mean, if somebody had been, genuinely repentant, I wouldn't even have talked about this, but it was like, that's my church life and that's that life. And it's like, no, that's not how it is. So, yeah. So in other news, I sent myself an email because I record these with my phone. And so I'm not doing my face. I don't want you to see my face. I'm not unblocking my camera. Technology is lame. But yeah, I sent some screenshots to myself so I could. Oh, okay. So we're going to go through my screenshots. Going to put them up on the screen. But number 1 screenshot is shadows according to science and shadows according to science fiction. That one's funny. You can read that. But okay. So the drama. Okay. What do I want to talk about first? I'll talk about this random drama first, and then we're going to get into some local news. So, as many people know, I used to be a hardcore Juggalo, much mother freaking clown love. I wasn't raised, like my mom didn't choose it for me, but I loved the Insane Clown Posse when I was a teenager. I got a Hatchet Man tattoo. Embarrassing because it says psychopathic and I can't wear a 2-piece bathing suit because then like some mom behind me sees the word psychopathic on my back and they're like, And like, I don't really run with the clowns anymore because I don't listen to the music anymore. Not that I don't like it. I went back and listened to a few Insane Clown Posse albums and been like, wow, how did I ever listen to this? Like, not because it's not, like, it's catchy, it's got a good beat, it's well produced, but the words are awful. Like, there's a whole song called Bees, like the B word, and the chorus tagline is, girl, you know I love you, but now you gotta die. Like, the whole song is about abuse, domestic violence, and I wonder why I ended up in a relationship with a Juggalo for years who was extremely disrespectful and violent towards me. Okay, I see the error of my ways. Okay. I mean, not that they're all like that, but you can see why a young, impressionable, stupid boy would think, oh, this music means it's okay for me to hurt my girlfriend. Like, bro, no, that's not cool. Anyways, I don't like run with that anymore. I haven't listened to them in years. I did, however, continue listening to Twiztid for a very long time. They were my favorite, really, from the very beginning. Their album, The Green Book, deep. Lots of swears, violence. Like, I'm not saying you should listen to it, but if you just read the lyrics, it's a very good song. There's a song called The Marsh Lagoon, and I was going to get the entire second verse of that song tattooed on me because it was just extremely relatable. And if you listen to it, it's very exposing for me, but that's okay. But yeah, very relatable. It's basically about, someone who is abused when they're young and then finding that person as an adult and being violent towards them. Now, I do not condone that. I think you should forgive people, obviously, but it was very cathartic when I was younger. Like, I listened to it again and again and again and again and again and again. It was probably my favorite. So I followed Twiztid a lot longer than I followed, the ICP. I kind of stopped listening to the Insane Clown Posse after The Tempest because The Tempest was just kind of not my favorite. And then I think I even bought Big Bang Pow Boom or whatever the heck that album was. And that was when I was like, never again. I was like, maybe The Tempest was a one-off. And not to, I don't necessarily know if the music changed or if I did. But Insane Clown Posse had this thing where it was like the Dark Carnival and the Joker cards and all these things were coming out, and it was like a big, long, amazing story. And I might have talked about this before. I apologize if I did, but the very last album, they exposed that the entire time that you were listening to the Dark Carnival, the carnival is what Remy. She just tried to scare me, and she did. I hate her. Just kidding. I love her. But so at the very end of the thing, they say like the carnival is God and may all juggalos find him, which is confusing because, you just rapped about murdering people for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 albums. That was kind of the theme. Mind you, they did kill a lot of they didn't kill anybody for real, but a lot of it was about killing people, injustice, like killing rich people and killing, corrupt judges and cops and stuff like that. And that's wrong. 100% that's wrong. But it wasn't it was always about defending children. Well, not really, because there was a song about a toy that killed children, that came alive and killed children. Okay, well, I'm not defending this anymore. So anyways, I stopped listening to them, but continued to listen to Twiztid because I love them. And then they broke up. They Twiztid left Psychopathic Records and started Magic Ninja Entertainment. And that's great. I went to, they're great. They're great. They do a lot of rock music now, which I don't love because it's just not my genre. But even the rap stuff that they do and did, I can't listen to it anymore because it's not good for my spirit. And as much as I love it, as much as I often want to really want to go back to it, I just think if I always am thinking if God came in the room, would he want me to be listening to this? There's songs that I do feel comfortable listening to, like Love Don't Live Here Anymore, It's Been Cold Since You Went Away. That's a great song. Yeah, it's called LDLHAIBCSYWA. That's what the song's called. And I did listen to their newer albums, but just once, to just be like, oh, that's what they're up to, So I just always still follow them. I did unfollow them for a while, all of them, because I was scrolling one day and it was some really graphic, murdery stuff on their stories. And it honestly shocked me. And I was like, ugh. And then I unfollowed them and I was like, I need a break from these people for a bit. But I recently followed them again because this thing came on my radar. I don't know how, but, so Twiztid owns, they have their own record company now called Magic Ninja Entertainment. And they signed this new band called Axe or something. And they're really creepy. Like I know that ICP and Twiztid did a lot of really occulty, murdery, bloody, gory stuff. Like there's literally a song called Buckets of Blood, you know. I know that they did all that stuff. But this new group that they had been with, it seems way over the top. It's like, and they're saying like, it's just awful. I don't even, you know, I might even just bleep that out because I don't even like that I said it out loud. And I don't want to put that I don't want that out there in the world. So, because long live Jesus Christ, the King. He lives forever. I don't have to say long live because he's the King of the universe. But anyway, so they signed this new band and this, I don't know if it's a band or if it's a duo or if it's like a bunch of rappers or like one rapper. I really don't know. It seems like it's more than one person though. And so anyway, can I get on Instagram on my laptop? That would be cool if I could. Probably not though. Oh yeah, beautiful. I'm signed in. Let's go. So here's what kicked it off. So somebody, you know how like people will comment on things and then it comes up in your feed. So there was like 300 comments on this post. How many comments are there now? Over 400. So there's a lot of comments and replies on this post. And so it's one half of Twiztid, you know, kind of saying this kind of vague, almost clickbaity, cryptic, like diss kind of caption. I'll put it up on the screen, but I'll read it. Nothing seems to surprise me anymore. Big talk, bad work ethic, bad decisions, mediocre skill sets, greed, entitlement, and the audacity to act like your failure is someone else's fault. Hard pass on all that for me. Keep throwing stones to bust others open. We'll bleed you out and see you on the other side. And then a lot of the comments. So one of their friends, Big Vin Dustin, said, it's always the laziest ones who cry the loudest about everything else but themselves, bringing them down. If you think somebody's, and then this is so funny, this comment is funny. If you think somebody's dissing you, they probably are. So far, all I have been hearing is Play a Hatin'. That's an old song, if you don't know that. Probably don't. That's pretty wild. Don't blame me. I voted for Players Lounge Crew, PLC. That was also a very classic comment. How do I go down? I want to see the rest of the comments. Anyway, there's a ton of comments. I think I screenshotted them and emailed them to myself. Okay, first of all, I want to say that the comment section on this person's post, Jamie Madrox, his actual Instagram name is Pops and Vintage. Yeah. And then, yeah, the picture was kind of ominous. Okay, I obviously didn't send any of the big comments, but there's a lot of big supporting comments like, yeah, we're with you. I don't know. It was just a really wholesome comment section. Like, people really love Twiztid because Twiztid has always been like, they've never been like elitist where they're like, we're better than you. I mean, there was that one weird song a long time ago called Fantasy. Ugh, don't look it up. Magic Ninja, Entertainment, everyone behind the scenes have given me nothing but love and respect. You're better off without them. I love you regardless of what happens. I love your music. I hope this isn't about Axe because I think that only adds to the drama. A lot of people in the comments are like, please don't let this be about these people because we don't want fighting in this industry. We want you all to get along and we want you all to perform at the Gathering of the Juggalos together. Like, people are so obsessed with being like, Twiztid needs to perform at the Gathering of the Juggalos. And now the Gathering of the Juggalos is where I met all of these people when I performed there a long time ago. We've talked about that on here before, but I'll put a link maybe to the stories. But you know, Twiztid used to perform at the Gathering, and oh my gosh, Dark Lotus. Dark Lotus was the biggest tragedy of this whole artist breakup. Dark Lotus was, I mean, there was a weak link in Dark Lotus. And I'm sure, listen, we'll say it, 3, 2, 1. Shaggy 2 Dope. I feel bad saying that. But every Dark Lotus song was like a banger, like an absolute banger. And then Shaggy's verse would come in and be like, is he mumbling? Like, is he not? Like, I don't know. Anyway, I shouldn't say that. But everybody knew. Back in the day, there was a weak link in Dark Lotus, and he was the one. I mean, he's great. Like, he had an album called FTFO that I loved. It was good. It was funny. It was well timed. But then something about him in Dark Lotus was like, yeah, Dark Lotus was very culty also. Occultish. Not culty, but occultish. I mean, when I think about the symbolism of a lot of these artists that I used to love, and I know that it's like for art and for whatever, and you gotta hope they're not working for the opposition, the Illuminati, blah, 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 blah. But then you wonder, why are you putting this out in the world, But maybe that's just who they are, and that's okay, and I'm not going to judge them because they're not professing to be anything. Oh yeah, and so anyways, then these people, after Mr. Madrox did this cryptic post, the other guys put out a very mean song, a diss track, if you will, because they also posted, the time has come, blah, 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 a really creepy posts, like really weird, just like over the top. Like, you don't need to be that creepy, but maybe that's just who they are. Again, I don't know. But what caught my attention is, so I watched this song that was talking very badly about people that I love. Like, even if I don't listen to their music anymore, I still absolutely love them. And, I still follow what they're doing because they were just they've always been part of my life in a way, in many ways. And so I watched this like YouTube video diss thing, and what caught my eye over everything was, I don't even remember what it was. It was like, don't pray to Jesus, or you can't pray to Jesus. And I just thought to myself, those guys are going down. Those guys are going down, not because Twiztid claps back at them again, not because of any reason other than you just dissed Jesus or told someone not to pray to him. And that's ultimately the worst thing you can do, in my book anyway. And they're just creepy. Like, I feel like if you're bringing all that evil into your life, you're gonna go down, because that's just the way that goes. So yeah, I don't know what happened since. There's no updates. There's no posts. I tried to check Reddit. Reddit is where I read most of this and found it all. And so when I found it on Reddit, I refollowed all these people, the Twiztid guys, because I just want to. But you know what? And then I think to myself, is this all one big marketing scheme? Because wow, so many people are talking about this right now. And when I say so many people, I mean so many people from this genre, from this crew, from the Juggalo subreddit. So yeah, I don't know. It does make me sad that they would fight, but like, you don't talk about those people like that. You just don't. And they're going to get, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like responding to it is like below them, but who knows what they're going to do. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We shall see. And so Juggalos are just the best, And I'll never not love Twiztid. So, forever. I'm just scrolling Juggalo Reddit right now. Makes me happy. Yeah, so again, it's not that I don't like the music. Does it sound good? Yes. But I just can't have that in my life. The murder, I need things that lift me up and not make me feel certain ways, It's like women who have a hard time not being promiscuous. It's the music you listen to. All the music that you listen to is telling you to fall in love, or telling you to get back at your ex, or telling you to, have, premarital sex. They're, yeah. And so I think it's important for everyone to just pay attention, because music is magic. And I've said that before, and you just have to really, what you're listening to, what you're singing. And Michael Jackson actually talked about this. There's a clip going around of Michael Jackson talking about when you choose your favorite song, you're choosing a mantra.
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state, into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song, or become what you're saying.
And when you're saying that mantra again, you're bringing that into your life, and you're giving your energy to that, and you're giving that to your spirit. And if you want your spirit to be happy and love Jesus, then you could sing Christian music constantly, like me. But yeah, it's all very. Anyways, that's just the update for the Juggalo world. There's probably one of you that listens to this, maybe none, I don't know. But I just wanted to talk about it because Twiztid is great, and those Axe guys are mean and bad. And I get it. Like, it's sad because Twiztid is, like, honestly one of the most underrated rap duos in the world. Like, I remember listening to, because I listened to them all the time when I was younger. Why did I just say it like that? I listened to them constantly when I was younger, and it was so good. Like, the production value, the sound effects, the stories, the lyrics, it was just the best. And then every once in a while I would hear mainstream rap and be like, this sucks. Like, this is lyrically weak, produced bad, and I'm not one to talk. Like, I'm a terrible producer. I produce things in my bedroom and put it out on Spotify. So, yeah, I just always thought, like, these guys have such good bars, I guess, as you would say, in that culture. Why are they not, but, the whole, and I mean, that's who they are. The face paint thing, it's just who they are, and God love them. God love them. Praying for them, praying for everyone involved, praying that the hate doesn't go too far, praying that everybody just finds love and seeks God and gives their heart to Jesus. It's like, I literally used to be, it's just funny to me how I used to be like, Manders, Amanda, the Juggalette, I'm a Juggalette scrub. And now, if people who followed me from the gathering found me now and saw that I'm Pastor Amanda, how weird is that? But that just shows that you can go anywhere you want in life. It's up to you. Now we're going to talk about some local news. So if you're not from Lloydminster area, you can tune out now. Check this out, okay? This is going on. I'm showing a picture from the newspaper, if you're listening. Showing a picture of a huge, like, smoky release coming out of the ground. So basically, there's a huge, like, gas leak, oil leak, something leaking. This stuff is pouring into the environment in Rush Lake, I think, Saskatchewan. I've heard all kinds of things. I've heard that this company, Cenovus, they're responsible for this well, like, exploding, essentially. And, like, if you go in this area, it stinks. Like, you will get sick, you'll get a headache. They're saying that it's not a risk to public health, but there are all kinds of people from the area reporting of, like, headaches and feeling nauseous, and the smell is really bothering them. And it's just crazy because this front page from the Meridian source, Lloydminster, local media barred from Rush Lake update. So the media isn't even allowed to go and report on it. And that just makes it so much more suspicious. Like, they should have just let them go. Like, I feel like they're really downplaying what's going on here. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where, when that nuclear factory, like, exploded and all this stuff was going into the air, and then this whole town started getting sick. And now there's a documentary on Netflix about how many people died and got sick from that. I feel like this is going to be close to that, because There are cows dying. Like, I've heard that Cenovus has purchased properties, fields of land from farmers, and relocated all their cows because they cannot get this under control. Like, they literally, they're dumping cement into this thing to try to stop the gases from leaking out. And I'll show a better picture from like online or something, but this gas is just like, I did H2S training when I was in the oil field, and H2S can like kill you in seconds. Like, it's if like certain levels of it, obviously, but of course, like, these people will gaslight normal people into being like, oh no, that's not why you're sick. Oh no, and it's only 80 kilometers from where I live that it's happening. It's scary. And so basically, yeah, they probably just pumped too much pressure into like the hole, and then it just like exploded and cracked this thing. And I'm not against the oil field. I know how important oil is and all that stuff, but this is the risk that you run being reliant on such a dangerous thing, I guess. I don't know. Cenovus said the fluid is coming from the initial well release and their control work. It's mostly muddy, silty water and steam. It also contains hydrogen sulfide gas. The ministry is monitoring fluids containing them and disposing of them properly. Cenovus is monitoring and taking regular samples of tributary water sources. The ministry said no contamination has been detected. Numerous employees and contractors remain on the site. The ministry will launch a full review once the release is under control. And this paper was printed June 19th, so a few weeks ago, and it's still not under control. Like, they're actually having a meeting in Payton about this, like a town hall, to like inform the residents, which is scary because, if you have people saying like, oh my gosh, I feel so sick from this, and then you have company people who are just like parroting the narrative of like, no, you don't feel sick. And I guess these are all of my opinions. None of this is fact or true. I'm just repeating rumors that I've heard. I cannot confirm nor deny any of this. And I am free of all legal responsibility to, this is just me, talking about what I've heard around town. And, I cannot be legally prosecuted because this is just random opinions from random people. So take that. And, when asked why the media wasn't allowed inside to help get the message out, Nicholas Zaher, vice president of operations, repeatedly claimed that work is being done to keep the public informed. He refused to share any information about the leak and declined to answer any further questions of the leak itself. But, people on Facebook talk, people who work there talk to people, and, all kinds of things rumors are flying around. They would do so much service to the community to just be upfront about it and be like, this is what we're dealing with and we don't know what to do about it and we're trying, just be upfront about it. But it's like, they don't want to cause panic. Probably they don't want to cause a bunch of people like, oh my gosh, my baby's going to be born with defects because I've inhaled this gas. Like they probably just don't want to cause chaos and panic, and they don't want to pay out the money they don't want to, if they admit to it's making you sick, then they have to pay like hospital bills and who knows what. So yeah, that's what's happening in my community. That's the newspaper, man. What a thing to do. What a thing to read. The only reason I had it is because it's full of grads, really. But I pick it up now. Ever since this Rush Lake thing started happening, I've been really I've been kind of paying more attention to my local news, so that's good. And everybody should pay attention to. There's like so many businesses in here and events that you don't know are happening. Nobody's posting, like, even if these people are posting all these events on Facebook, it's so muddied by how-to videos and 5-second crafts and all this crap. Like, this actually has like a whole thing. Look, passport to YLL. That's Lloydminster. Cards, games, food, meetings, live music. This is all the local events happening. I bet you didn't even know about most of these because it just gets lost on Facebook. So, like, I've been picking up the newspaper recently. I think that newspaper is going to make a comeback, and I'm going to help it make a comeback by telling you, go pick up your local paper, okay? Okay? Because, like, guess what? Cenovus can't erase this from the internet. I have it. I have a copy of it. Not that would happen. Not that I'm saying that would happen, but it's just, when a big company, like every documentary you've seen, a big company, something big happens, and then 5 years down the road, we find out the true gravity of it. And I feel like just get ahead of it right now, Cenovus, so nobody hates you. That's just my advice to you as your new PR helper. Just be honest. The truth will set you free. Jesus Christ says that, I think. Yeah, Jesus Christ says that. The truth will set you free. So my phone's going to die and I'm going to cut this short, but we're back on track every week. What's the best day to release these? Can you tell me that? I don't know. It has been Fridays, it's been Mondays, it's been Tuesdays, but I'm going to release this one as soon as I can because it's been a while. And I hope you're enjoying my daily little vlog things. So many people have said like, oh, these are so cool to me. Oh, and I've got to catch up on YouTube comments as well. Do I have time to do that or is my phone going to die? Well, I'm going to pray before it dies, but dear God, thank you for being in my life. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for everyone in the world. Thank you for just being amazing. And I just pray that anyone who's having disagreements or conflicts in life turns to you because you can lead the way out of conflict. You can resolve. You are the God of impossible. You can do all things and you make all impossible things possible. So even if, things get out of hand, I just pray that you can put things back together because you're just so good. And according to your will, God, according to your will, I always want everything that's according to your will. I don't want anything outside your will for me. I love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, real quick, see if we can read some comments because Magnus Galactus OG was commenting. Oh, yes. I might put a clip too about Mike Winger talking about the Orthodox Church because some of those Orthodox people from a few videos ago still continue to message me and say that I'm crazy and I'm wrong and I'm whatever. And it's like, bro, don't you have anything better to do? Also, one of Ye's concerts in a really random country got canceled. So keep your eye on that. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Magnus Galactus OG, quick. When I used to listen to you sing years ago, I could hear so much pain. It was a tragic beauty. And now when you sing, I hear joy and happiness. I love that. That's Jesus. He transformed me. Thank you. Also said, I hope the same blessings to you, doll. Thank God for this beautiful day. Amen. I love the Hitler song. It's such a good song and I understand his pain and what he's raging against. He's using the best weapon, art, against an unbeatable force, the industry that took his kids. Amen. I agree. And what's the name of the Fighting My Followers guy? I don't know. I'm going to put it up here for you, Magnus Galactus OG. I'll put it up here at some point when I'm editing this video. Okay, so my phone died, obviously. I'm just editing the next day, and I thought I should just say, the outro. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Share this podcast with your friends. If you think that part of it is really interesting and you think it should be clipped, send me the timestamp. I'll make clips of it. I love feedback, and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching again. I just love doing it, and okay, see you next time.